Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanius here. Welcome to episode number 30, the big 3-0 of this NHL 22 Minnesota Wild franchise mode here in the state of hockey on my channel. If you guys have missed episodes up to this point, head up into that top corner and make sure to check out the playlist. If you do enjoy this one, make sure to show your support by going down below, dropping a like, subscribing, and hitting notifications to never miss when I upload. So, last episode, we got through the playoffs. We were eliminated in the conference finals by the San Jose Sharks. We lost in 6, and San Jose went on to beat Florida to claim their first ever Stanley Cup. So a great performance by them. Apart from that, we won the President's Trophy, but we didn't see too many other awards for our team apart from that. Pappy Bulin won the Calder, but that was about it. We didn't really see too many other awards go to Minnesota players this year, just simply because our team had a bit of a down year for their standards. So, looking at the team, Matthew Boldy was second in scoring on this team, and he's got a contract extension coming up here. Foligno played well, same with Michkov. Those guys were all right around 100 points. Kaprizov was injured throughout the season, but yet again put up a phenomenal campaign, putting up 81 points in just 68 games. And then we saw some breakout years from guys like Guy Bonnet and Gaspard Lapierre. They were both fantastic as well. And for young 22, 23-year-old snipers and second, third round picks, these guys have really developed well for this team. So now we face the cap dilemma of trying to re-sign just about everybody. I don't think we're quite going to be able to do it, but looking at the contract situation, the guy that I mainly point out, Boldy said he didn't want an extension before the playoffs. Now he does, and I think it would be smart to re-sign him. The only issue with that is with a guy like Lapierre coming up, he's going to have a better chance of really being impactful on this team than Matthew Boldy does, especially at 29 years old. But at the same time, we've got a guy like Kaprizov on a $9.5 million contract. He is 33. When comparing that to a 22-year-old Lapierre's got, the sky's the limit for his production potential and everything else along those lines. Again, 129 points in 164 games is really good. It's a really good start for him. But the question really does now come down to who do we hold on to, who do we let go? And unfortunately, I do think a guy like Carson Lambos could be on the trading block for this team. I know he has been a very fit, a very skilled, effective defender for this team, but at the same time, he hasn't really produced the offensive numbers we had been hoping for. His plus-minus has been great, but he is a bit of a penalty machine. He doesn't really score on a lot of shots, 5.2% for his career. He does log some pretty decent penalty kill minutes, but at the same time, we've got some young players coming up through the system here. When we look at the defense, yes, it's good, but we have to extend Bryant Sexton as well, who, in my opinion, is a much more valuable piece on this team because he's a defensive defenseman, has the physicality, has the X factors to go with it, and I would rather keep Bryant Sexton for $5 million or so, which he's asking for, about 6 actually, but we could probably get that down with an extension over Lambos' $7.5 million, second highest paid defenseman on the team. It doesn't make sense. So, looking in the system too, we got a guy like Frederick Fistrick, even Gavin Hunt. We've got multiple players down there who are NHL level defensemen that we should be trying to bring up. Seth Jenner, even Sheldon Taylor as well. There's a lot of guys that could be playing in this team over a guy like Lambos. So, yes, they're not going to be as good, but I think Lambos is the cap clearance that we need. Sorry, I can't speak. But looking at goaltending too, we are probably going to have to release a goalie here or do something along those lines. Unfortunately, a guy like Nicholas Lawrence just has not developed despite being really quite phenomenal for Iowa over the last 6-7 seasons or so. It's been way too many, but he has been good. We can't deny that, but at the same time, a 19-year-old Piero Zabottle will be our minor starting goalie next year, and maybe we'll see a guy like Strudwick come up. We are going to have to sign him too, so we'll see what happens. We've got some goalies lined up for this upcoming draft, and I really do like where the team is currently sitting. We are going to try to get Fistrick some more play time, I do believe, in this upcoming season, unless we trade him at the draft, which might actually be the case here just because of how things are set up, what we're trying to accomplish with this upcoming draft. And, you know, we are going to be trying to trade up a little bit here too, just to land some good prospects. So let's advance to the draft, kind of see how we're doing, and then we'll get to it. And actually, just before we really go to the draft, I was just talking about contract extensions, I should go and extend our expiring players. So all expiring, a guy like Guy Bonnet we can pay when it's necessary. He's not an unrestricted free agent. Neither are guys like Zilkin, who's, again, pretty cheap actually for his price. Fistrick's going to be a good contract, and I assume, yeah, Leon Koch as well. I'm really happy with how these players are looking, but I don't know if we might offer Foligno a contract. We've got a guy like Mario Cote coming up. He looks really good too. So that's the thing, is like we don't necessarily have to re-sign a guy like Boldy for the big money, but we probably should, and the cap clearer would be Carson Lambos. So let's see if we can get some rule of 85 going here. We only have 19 million in cap space to play with. So if we can get that down to under half for Boldy, I would be really appreciative of that, but let's see what we can do. So that would be a $9.9 million contract for Matthew Boldy. It's not fantastic, but not really that bad a price either. We'd have to go 9.925, but for 6 more years, that takes him until he's 35, and right now he's looking like a Minnesota legend, so we'll hold on to him. Bryant Sexton wants $5.8 million, and at a $5.8 million contract, we're looking at a $4.93 million deal. So it'll be 4.95, but $5 million for a big defender like that makes sense for this team. Apart from that, I don't see us making too many other extensions here to start with. We'll get more towards that as we progress here a bit more. Ruslan Kvasha is looking phenomenal. He didn't really grow, but for a 22-year-old, he could turn into something nice. We'll see what happens there. And we are going to have to make some room for guys like Thomas Kruger, or maybe not Emerton or Scrimes necessarily. I mean, Scrimes actually looks okay for a 5th rounder, but again, isn't really better than, you know, like Rensfeldt or DePenta or Howard, but, you know, we probably will be releasing some of those guys just based on their age and kind of where they're sitting in this team structure. So, all right, let's go with this for now. We will have to sign Strudwick there for the upcoming year, but hopefully we get those 2 big name unrestricted free agents in Boldy and, well, we get Boldy, nice, and Sexton, perfect. So nice and easy contracts for those guys. Apart from that, how much more extension space do we have, really? It's not going to be enough to sign Bonnet. No, he wants 9.5, which we will hopefully get for cheaper. But apart from that, there are going to be a couple contracts here that we just have to re-sign, and we don't really have any other options, so all right, let's just hold on to the cap space for now, see what we can do, and then get to hopefully re-signing the depth pieces of this team after the draft. So we're going to be looking to try and move a guy like Carson Lambos at the draft. Arizona's going to win the lottery, moving from 9-1, lucky buggers. Hey, that's a huge jump. And really, they will be getting Calais Gilson over probably just about everybody else in here. But we are looking at a couple guys at the end of the first round here, mainly Sven Nilstrup. He's a 2-year ETA, but he's a top 6 forward and looks really decent. Offensive creativity, playmaking ability, that's what you want in a 6'3" winger. And then, of course, Joshua Lawrence here looks like a really, really solid offensive defenseman. So hopefully we can land both of those guys. And then there are some goalies a bit further down here too that we will be trying to get our hands on. No guarantees, but you know, a guy like Antropov, 1-year ETA, tip jar, he is a starter, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, he would replace a guy like Nicholas Lawrence, right? So yeah, apart from that, we've got a lot of like low top 4 kind of guys that we're probably not going to take, just because I think they're a waste of a pick. I was interested in this guy though, because he was showing 2-year ETA. So we'll see if Kirill Cabriolet turns into anything. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, Latipov maybe too. So there are some goalies, there are some players that I am interested in trying to pick up in this draft. All right, so looking at retired players here now, and this year we're going to see Kopitar, Tarasenko, Hopkins, and a couple other kind of big names there. I'm wondering, though, did we see, what's his name, retire this year? No, Brendan Duhaime retires, though, at 33. Not the name I was expecting. I was actually thinking Foligno. I skipped over the goalies there by accident, but oh well. And for coaches this year, doesn't look like we lose any. Perfect. Alright guys, so for this draft, we are going to be making a couple moves here as far as we're going to be trying to make some trades. The first guy on that list is indeed going to be Carson Lambos. Not a super valuable defenseman anymore at this rate compared to some of our other younger guys like Weller and Oduya and even Eriksson. Like, Eriksson has developed extremely well. So, looking at Mario Cote, though, he could very easily be in our team in the next season if he has a good AHL year, because we will be signing him otherwise, or despite that. Paris and Andrews are looking okay. I mean, Andrews put up a 90-point season in 66 games. That's pretty impressive. But apart from that, Francois Paris looks alright too. He's not crazy, but could potentially develop still. And the team's in decent shape. We will be bringing Ben Carlson back too. There's no need to send him back to junior. But along with that, maybe we don't necessarily have to sign a guy like Zilkin back up. It would be nice, but for $3 million as well, it might not be the best move possible. AJ Dominguez, we should be signing up this year too, so we will have to be making a couple different clearances here just to add some roster space for these youngsters coming up. Apart from that, Bergfor's never really developed, unfortunately. We will very likely be releasing him. Connor Duar, we might hold on to Duar. He's actually been decent. And I was expecting Marcus Foligno to retire, and he didn't. So at 38 years old, maybe we do bring him back for one more year. Try to get him another cup. And yeah, the team's in pretty decent shape. Mark Hort had, oh my god, he scored 124 points. So he will be in our AHL system this upcoming year too. And really now it just comes down to more so clearing the roster spaces for the correct pieces to kind of fill in this lineup. So, alrighty. Goaltending's nothing crazy. We might end up trying to trade a Nicholas Lawrence in this deal as well, just because he doesn't make sense to hold on to him. So, alright, let's get into this entry draft. We're going to be aiming for a pick around the end of the first round to land a guy like Lawrence. And, I mean, it looks like lots of teams aren't really willing to trade their picks anyway. So, we are at pick number 30. So, I want to trade for pick number, maybe not 20, but potentially 28, just to clear some cap space. Let's see, who's expiring on this team? That is a huge deal. Braden Point is decent. Kucherov would make the most sense because then he adds like no value to the deal. So let's do that. Let's go for the expiry there. We'll send Lambos across along with who else are we gonna move here? Lambos and probably Lawrence. Yeah. Lambos and Lawrence and maybe one other, just to make sure this trade goes through. Actually, hold on. What picks do we have? Maybe we try to acquire another second rounder. That could actually be a decent idea. What does Tampa have for... Let's try to grab 47. I don't know if we need pick 60 necessarily. But yeah, 28 and 47 would be nice. We've got pick 62 there. So, just making sure all of our other picks would line up. And yeah, okay, that looks pretty good actually. So, let's go with those two, and then just to buff up this deal a little bit more, I might try to trade a guy like maybe Fistrick, although he is a really solid defenseman. See, that's the thing, is Hunt isn't as good as Fistrick, so I would rather keep Fistrick, even though his system fit isn't quite as good. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's send Gavin Hunt away because we traded for him and he never really turned into the player I was expecting. So let's offer these three in a potential trade. We'll pick up Kucherov, the 28th pick, and pick 47, and it goes through. Perfect. Alright, so we've got all our picks lined up now. Gilson goes first, Bjorkstrand goes second. Oh, Bjorkstrand was kind of a... he wasn't a great pick, to be honest. So, anyways, let's go over to pick 28, see how the rest of this first round shapes up. And it looks like we are going to get our guy in Nilstorp, which is good. This guy was pretty decent too, Ned Jeffrey. Dublowicz was decent for Vegas. Actually, a lot of really solid defensemen throughout here. And alright, Milson goes 5. He was probably should have gone higher. Gibbons is actually the better X-Factor defenseman, so Seattle did end up grabbing a defenseman, which was good. And alright, we're going to take Nilstorp and then Lawrence here with these two picks. And we'll start off with Nilstorp as our 28th overall selection. And he is 67 rated. He's got Send It, interesting, out of all potential X-Factors there. So we'll see if that can develop a bit more. And then over at pick 30, again, just one pick in between him. We're not going to go with any of these guys. We're going to go with Nicholas Lawrence because he is guaranteed low elite offensive defenseman, and he's 63 rated. Okay, so, oh, he's actually got third eye. I thought he was going to have Send It for sure. Okay, all right, I'm okay with that. He could develop into something special as a late first round pick. So over to pick number 47 now in this draft. We miss out on Curry, Spiller, Van de Velde. Wow, okay, lots of decent, like, medium top 6 kind of forwards. How was the rest of the first round? Because there was 2 more picks. And, ooh, Swift was good too. Okay, yeah, Alvin Swift. Not a bad pick for Ottawa there. Or, not Ottawa, Florida at all. So, alright, now over at 47, we're going to go with the goalie, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to go with Antropov. He'll be our third pick just because he is kind of loaded on X factors for a goalie, so hopefully that will help him develop. And he's 73 rated. Okay. He will be getting the backup job, very likely. Actually, maybe not. Maybe we let him play in Russia for a year because we've got Jose Strudwick coming up. But at pick 62 now, skipping ahead a bit more. It's nothing really spectacular in the second round apart from some of the players we've got pinned. So, all right, our next pick is going to be... It was going to be Dackel, but then he turned out to be a low 4. Buyer, I don't really want another starter either. I actually am really interested in this Caberlet guy. I think he's going to be medium top 6 because A+ physicality, B shooting, puck skills. He's a power forward for sure. But the 2-year ETA, I think, actually leaves the underlying question of is he a medium 6? And I think he is. I'm not certain on it, but compared to all the other players in this draft, I would actually rather take him over pretty much everybody else, despite, yes, there is some elite potential. Like Wes Antonio is 19, or he's 20, but I don't trust that 3-year ETA like being good along with potential, so I'm going to take Caberlet because he was like the second best prospect in the Extraliga. So Kirill Caberlet is indeed a medium 6. He's 66 rated, but he's a grinder. So interesting player type there for a second round pick, but we'll see if he develops. He's a little bit small. He's 6 feet tall, but all right. At pick number 94 now, and we skip over. Buyer was a decent pick. Dackel was, again, a low top 4, which kind of sucks, but did we miss on anybody? Antonio was a medium 9. I kind of saw that coming. All right, and apart from that, anybody else good? Not really. Okay, so All right, on to pick number 94, and I think we're taking another goalie with this pick. Yep, I'm going to go with Yuri Latipov. He's 19, he's got a 4-year ETA, so that means he'll be 23 by the time he makes the league, supposedly. And he is an elite. Let's go, he's 61 rated. Butterfly-style goalie, and he is a little small, but we'll see if a late third-rounder can eventually become our starting goalie, so... All right, pick 126 now, and we are going to see just about nobody. Yikes, okay. That's a really weak fourth round to start, so hopefully we can salvage something from the fourth round that other teams missed on. And yeah, the third round too, like Latipov is like the highest potential player in there, so there's a bit of a lopsided draft, to be completely honest. Oh, do we go with Johan Lander? That is the real question now. Do we take Lander as well? I've got so many players pinned still, and a lot that look decent too. So maybe we try to acquire another pick in here somewhere. We're at pick 126. I think I am going to take... I want to take Kaprizov, but I also want to take Lander, which makes this a bit of a dilemma. So let's see if we could potentially snag San Jose's, like, 4th and 7th off of them. I would actually love to do that, and I don't think it's going to be too pricey. So they've got Draper, who's just insane. He's turned into such a good player, but let's see if we can snag pick 224 and pick 128 off of them. Actually, let's go find a trade and see what they want for this. Oh, I didn't even realize Telquist was decent. He's right before us. As far as a pick goes, that kind of sucks. But let's see what San Jose's offering in exchange for those couple of picks. No trades found. Okay. Alright, well, let's offer a trade then. Trade our 6th and 7th next year. Rejected. Alright, we're probably going to have to do like a 4th and a 7th. Let's go Washington's 4th. Or no, let's go our 4th, and then... Does that go through? Yes, it does. Okay, that works. All right, so let's make this pick at 126. I'm going to stick with my kind of listed players here. We're going to start with Johan Lander. He was a little bit of an unexpected pick. I wasn't sure if we were going to take him or not, but we're going to take the risk and see if he actually turns out. All right, so Lander is going to be a medium elite. Let's go. Let's go. That's great. He's 47 rated, but big goalie. Again, 4th rounder. We'll take it. That's 3 goalies attempted to have been picked here, where you can tell we're trying to land an elite goalie prospect that actually develops, because really it just hasn't been great success with developing goalies in this series so far. So hopefully landing some of those guys is going to make a difference. Glass gets picked next, but we're going to skip over that. And at pick 128, we are going to go with Yuri Kaprizov, 3-bar low elite. I'm hoping he's elite, and he is. Let's go. Okay, so what is his overall? He is 54 overall, and he's a 6'3" offensive defenseman. Okay, we might have a steal in Yuri Kaprizov, but we'll see how he turns out. So, over to pick 158 now. And within the 5th round here, we're going to see anybody? Maybe not. We did pick a little off the board to steal those guys. Okay, Schoenmaker was actually decent, but he's an enforcer, which kind of sucks. So, all right, pick 158. I went off the board here again because... Is it Schwartz? Yeah. Okay, Schwartz is standing out to me. He's 3-year ETA, 18 years old. He put up 45 points in 64 games in his draft year, which is a pretty decent showing for a young player like that. And really, the rest of these guys were taking risks on anyways. So Schwartz is, in my opinion, the most likely to be a low elite at this point. And I'm really hoping he can actually be one. So we're going to take him at pick 158. And he is a low elite. Oh my god, he's 63 rated? There is a player for you, and a playmaker as well. Gage Schwartz looks like a beast. Let's go. I mean, he's small, obviously. He's not physically a beast, but point production-wise, that could be another steal out of the U.S. League. We have landed at least a couple of those, like Brendan Carson looked great out of the U.S. League as well. Who else have we landed recently out of there? Jermaine McGinn. Not Lapierre. Lapierre was out of the queue, but this has to be one other. Drew Gleason actually was a decent USA pick as well. So we'll take Gage Schwartz with a grain of salt, as he is a 5th round pick, but over to round 6 now. And okay, we missed Michkov. That would have been a decent pick. Apart from that, who else? That's it. Schwartz was one of the best picks. Again, we are nailing this draft class. Ricky Klein. I'd rather take forwards now. We've landed quite a few defensemen in this draft as well. Obviously taking Lawrence, Kasparidis, and yeah, I think I'm good with the offensive defensemen we were able to pick up. But now we go down, and I think I'm going to take Mats Martinson. I don't know how good he's going to be, but we will see. So, is he a low elite? No, he's a low bottom 6. Ouch. There is a bit of a bad pick for you. It doesn't always happen, but we'll take it, I guess. Medium bottom 6 or low bottom 6. Ouch. Okay, never mind. He's worse than I thought. And he is a 2-way forward, but again, just not quite the pick we were looking for a late round steal. But oh well, right? They're not all going to turn out. We've landed a lot of good players in this draft, so can't really be too upset with that. At pick 222, do we miss anybody? Ooh, Pushkarev. Oh my god, Pushkarev's insane. 61 overall. And Gaucher. Oh man, we missed a couple really good ones. That would have been way better than Martinson. Oh my god, and Carson too. Jaden Carson's a decent defenseman. That sucks. Okay, well, Martinson was definitely not the pick there. We're not going to go with Findlay. I think I'm going to go with... I'm going to take Reynolds and then Hickman. So let's see how good is Ahmed Reynolds. He's a low top 6. Okay, not spectacular, but he is a sniper. And then Bancroft goes. He's not really great. And for our last pick, we're going to go with a guaranteed medium or low top 6 forward in Cam Hickman. All right, so Cam Hickman turns out to be 48 rated, and that concludes this draft. It's a pretty decent draft overall. Not terrible, not great, but it was all right. I mean, I do find it funny that we drafted Joshua Lawrence right after we let go of, what's his name? Right after we let go of Nicholas Lawrence, so I thought that was a little ironic. Let go of one Lawrence, bring in another, but right up to Schwartz, we nailed those picks. Those were great picks throughout. Caberlet is a bit of an interesting prospect. I don't know if he's ever going to make the league, but Nils Torp Lawrence, maybe Antropov, maybe Latipov, maybe Lander, maybe Kasparidis, and maybe Schwartz all have shots at making the league. So I'm happy with that draft. We pick a lot of players. Like, that was the most players we've picked in a while. We haven't drafted 11 players since Jagger Foligno's draft year. That's how long it's been. So, yeah, that was a big draft for us. We've got some scouts expiring this year. Fortunately, no coaches. And we'll get all of those guys re-signed. And now with the cap space we've just cleared, we're obviously not going to be re-signing or offering a contract to Nikita Kucherov over all of our other youngsters here. So let's get to this. Let's release Kucherov. Again, no point in having a guy like that in our system when we're not going to be pursuing him. He did put up 102 points for Tampa this year, but we don't really want him. We don't really need him, to be honest, even though he is a fantastic player. But actually, how much money does he want? Yeah, 12.1 million. I think not. All right, so he's gone, and let's get to signing these other guys. So first things first, Guy Bonnet, big contract, $9.975 million is going to be an $8.47 million contract. So we'll have to go 8.5 probably, because a 4.75 doesn't quite cut it. Yeah, so 8.5 for Bonnet would actually be really decent. Apart from him, Zilkin wants 3.02 million. And that would be a $2.575 million contract for the next 3 years, which is actually really good. And then Fistrick wants 3.575, which would be a $3.1 million contract, roughly. Or no, 3.05. Okay. So if we can get all of those signings to come in, that would be perfect. Leon Koch should be nice and cheap. Yeah, he's a two-way. Marcus Foligno should be a two-way. We'll offer him $1 million for 1 year. We have to sign Mario Cote this year. He's going to come into our AHL system. Magnus Sundin. How good has he been recently? He's been pretty good for Iowa, to be completely honest, but at 26 years old, might not be the best option to maintain with this team. At the same time, though, we're still going and signing a guy like Adam Beckham to an extension, right? Like, that's the problem here, is that, you know, we are still offering other guys deals when they really haven't performed all that particularly well. Oh, you just did that to me. That was mean. Okay. Let's just go to all expiring so that I don't have that issue again. So, we've signed right up to here, roughly. Duar, Ward. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys here that probably don't really or shouldn't really get extensions. A guy like Connor Crane is huge, but he's massive. He's 6'6". I'm going to re-sign him for sure. Same with a guy like Brian Scavello. He's been good. And then this is where we kind of hit the dilemma as far as Matthew Ward he put up 40 points. It's not great after a 78-point campaign. And then Bergfors as well just didn't play, so I think we release both of these guys. So Ward's gone, Bergfors is gone, Connor Duar will sign for 1 year. I guess that might have been 2. DePenta, again, just didn't play, right? But a guy like Ruslan Kavasha, we should sign because he's got X factors, elite edges, and a couple other things there. We'll clear out Felipe Howard. I think, yeah, pretty much any guys that didn't play here, we probably should clear out. Ballard's just not going to make the team. That's guaranteed. I would like to sign these 3 20-year-olds up over, you know, a guy like Hacken. He's getting replaced by a guy like Kruger, who's just better. Rensfeldt, DePenta, same things. Those guys never really turned into the players that we were expecting them to. I keep hitting that trigger, and that just messes everything up. So let's release DePenta. Let's release Rensfeldt. Let's release Hacken. Okay, so that was 3 big-name releases, but we're going to bring in these other guys now just to fill those kind of voids on the team. And along with that, Jose Strudwick, as a 69 rated 19 turning 20-year-old, is coming into the team, and he should be pretty good. So we're going to let Latipov and Antropov sit back and hopefully enjoy some even better years coming up here overseas in Russia before we bring them over. Schaefer won 39 games as a 19-year-old. That's pretty impressive, but his save percentage did go down. And, well, apart from that, I do like where the team's at. We are going to be sticking with Wallstedt and Bjorklund despite their pretty ridiculous contracts. $4.67 million for Wallstedt is just, it's absurd, to be completely honest, but he's won 183 games for this team, and we're pushing for him to get that Minnesota record eventually. And apart from that, you know, Piero Zabotle should be up next for this team, especially as a 19-year-old. He looks surprisingly good, and as much as that is the case, I'm really hoping that Strudwick could overtake him eventually. So let's advance a couple days, see if all these deals roll in or if we're strapped on cap. And all right, Foligno rejects. He says it's time to go our separate ways. We'll see about that. Beckham signs. Same with Kruger, same with Cote, same with Duar, same with Emerton, Koch, Zilkin, Scavello. Bonnet rejects, that sucks. We get Crane, though. Fistrick rejects, come on. Kavasha signs, Lundin signs, Scrime signs, Strudwick signs. Alright, so we didn't get a couple guys that I wanted here. Mainly Fistrick and, what's his name? yeah, it was mainly Fistrick and Bonnet, but, you know, we'll duke it out here in the contract negotiation battles. 1.3 million should be enough to sign both of these, or should still leave enough room to sign both of these guys. So 9.5. We're gonna try 8.75. Let's go 9. Bonnet was good enough this year. He probably deserves that. And Fistrick wants 3.5. We're gonna offer him 3.25. That should be enough. I don't see why it wouldn't be. And let's see. So we get Foligno, we get Sundin, we get Bonnet, and we get Fistrick. So it's just ever so slightly bumping up those offers a bit. And it turns out pretty good. I'm happy with the prospect pool we're rolling with. I'm happy with the players we've brought in. And now the question falls, do we sign a guy like Nils Torp or anybody else? I would say probably not. Probably just stick with the group we have, unless we have a need to bring over additional players. I am going to go and count out our players in each position, make sure we have enough to cover AHL and NHL, but like, look at this center core. This is just insane. It covers so many positions. As far as Carson is going to be playing in the NHL, same with Koch, same with Habby Bulin, and then we've got like 3 more guys here. These 2 go on the first line, second, third, fourth, so that covers the majority of our lineup, just at center. And then we have Paris Scavello. Wait, that's it? That's just Paris and Scavello? Maybe we sign Caberlet then. Maybe we bring in Kirill Caberlet. He actually looks pretty good. We got Vyacheslav Yamelin as well here, who is a little bit small, or a lot bigger actually, but a little bit worse. And he would be getting signed before a guy like Mark Hort or anybody else like that. Left wingers, though, we are stacked. We are loaded. We are good to go. We might even see Mario Cote get a shot at the league this year, but I think we're covered there. Right wingers, it's the exact opposite as far as Michkov's our only NHL level guy. But, you know, Lundin should be getting up here soon, too. I don't know why he didn't grow, despite putting up a 61-point campaign. Like, that's insane. And then he just didn't grow. So, I don't understand this game sometimes, to be completely honest with you guys. But, really, our defense is in good shape. Troy Chen could be making the league this upcoming year if he develops properly. And I really, really like the defensive core we have here still. Like, it's just solid. It's pretty much all drafted by me as well, so that's probably why I like it so much. But let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 AHL level defensemen. And then, all right, this team is ready. This team is good to go. Let's see how free agency looks. If there's anything interesting there, maybe to sign. Every now and then a low elite computer-generated prospect shows up, and you're just like, whoa, this guy's actually got some decent potential. Like, that happens every now and then. So that's why we check it. But let's see how free agency looks. So Shane Wright hits free agency. Obviously, Kucherov's asking for a little bit more money, but anybody good in here? Doesn't really look like it. Maybe Hawes. Lane Hawes actually looks pretty decent. He's obviously not like 78, 79 rated, but yeah, nothing super special here. Maybe we could use one more center. So yeah, maybe Hawes for a 20-year-old wouldn't be too bad. Buzas is, again, too high or too old to really develop. Koivu, we don't need defensemen. Yeah, okay, let's go with Hawes. Offer him a 1-year deal. Pretty much fills out the remaining cap space over a whole bunch of other guys in here. And goaltenders, I mean, Jorgen Renberg looks really good. Same with Liam Sundqvist. We've never drafted a goalie that's turned out to be like a spectacular tendy. That just hasn't happened for us, unfortunately. So, Lindbergh's okay. He's not $5 million though. Sojgaard is actually really decent. Yeah, there's some decent goalies in here. Like Kakinen is not worth that, but yeah, it's interesting how goalie development works. So with that in mind, let's get to the next season. Hopefully see our team shape up a little bit better. We signed Lane Hawes, but he's going to go back to junior for a year, so that's a little frustrating. Maybe we go and sign that other guy then? That Buzas? Might as well, right? We've got the roster space. It doesn't hurt to go and sign a guy like that. His name's Jorg. That is, it's not even Jorgen, it's just Jorg. Jorg Buzas. Isn't that such a great name? Alright, and Jorg signs with us. That's great. Okay, so let's go to the next season, see how the team shapes up, and then we'll conclude the episode. So guys, this is the lineup we are going to be rolling with for this upcoming season. It is insane. That's the only way I can describe it. We've got Kaprizov up on the top line this year because he is up to a 92. Foligno's faceoffs are just looking insane, so we're going to play him at center this year. So with these three together, it's a +5. It's insane. I don't even know how it's +5. It's literally just the X factors. But then we've got Lapierre, Rossi, and Boldy together because Guy Bonnet isn't actually as high rated as Guy Lapierre or as Gaspard Lapierre, which is insane. Happy Boulin's up to an 84, so he's looking crazy good as well. He's got good face-offs, good puck skills. He's a very all-round kind of center as a playmaker, along with LeCavalier. And Zilkin's on our fourth line beside Carlson and Krajicek, which is, again, just stacked and all under the age of 26. Like, this team, apart from our two kind of captain leaders, like Boldy's an alternate and Kaprizov is of course, the captain. Apart from those two, you know, this team is pretty much all under 26, apart from Rossi, I guess, as well. So it's insane how young this group is. Trey Weller, again, just 26. He's got an A on this team. We've got Oduya there playing with him on the top pairing. They're only a +3, but they're still just, again, top 2 defensemen. They should be playing in this role at 26 and 25 years old. Sexton and Eriksson are playing together on the second pairing for a +5. Then we've got Fistrick, who is a left-handed shot. I'm hoping he's going to jump back up here quickly in rating because he has been pretty good apart from, I think it's just management, really. So apart from that, you know, he should get his morale back up pretty soon, playing alongside Rankel for a +2. And yeah, like, again, no complaints. This team looks insanely good. We could probably be running a weaker defense and still be fine. But, like, oh my god, this team's so good. And then that's the reason, is because we have cheaped out on the goaltending a little bit. Wallsted's still been good. He won 34 games last year. He's been consistently in the 30s throughout his career, apart from his first kind of rookie-ish seasons. He's got a .901 going on his career, which is really good as well. He hasn't even lost 100 games yet. He only has played 277, but Wallstedt looks insane still as a starting goalie for this team. And then scratched, we've got Leon Koch, who probably should be playing, but we just have so many good forwards. And then Magnus Sundin and Marcus Foligno. So we're trying to get Foligno that cup. Obviously, that would be fantastic. Apart from that, our power play is, again, just stacked, loaded, ready to go. And I have no issues with it. It is so good. So that is the group. Again, feel free to pause and look at the special teams and stuff if you want. I think our team is in great shape, and I have no issues with the lineup we are rolling with here. So I did flip Bonnet and Lapierre a couple times throughout those extras, but apart from that, that's the team. As far as the AHL goes, Mario Cote's going to get a year of seasoning down there. He's quite quick. His agility and speed are insane. His shot's great. His defense is actually insane as well. It's way better defensively than offensively for awareness, which makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. Jermaine McGinn, we're going to try to get him to grow a bit more. Same with Nicholas Lundin. And overall, you know, this team is actually pretty darn solid. I think we might actually run Lundin at center because he's got 80 face-offs in comparison to Paris is just 70 there. So maybe we flip that too. Yeah, I like that lineup. That looks really good. We got the +5 on the third line there again because Moran's got the best face-offs out of everybody. And defensively, that's our defensive group. Troy Chen probably should be playing in the NHL. He looks amazing for a 4th round pick. His puck skills, defense, physical, and shootings are off the charts, but unfortunately his skating isn't quite at an NHL level. On the opposite hand, Seth Jenner's skating is definitely at an NHL level, but everything else, not so much. Even though he is 81 rated at just 21 years old, he probably will end up replacing a guy like, what's his name? Like Frederick Fistrick eventually, even though Fistrick is a great penalty killer and, really quite a battler. But that's the lineup we're running. Connor Crane is ridiculously huge. And in goal, we've got Piero Zabotal and Jose Strudwick this year. So those two should be able to get it done. Both 20 years old. It's literally going to be the battle of the 20-year-olds. Piero Zabotal's got the upper hand as far as he's going to get more starts, but we'll see what happens between those two. And in the special teams here this year, that's what we're looking at. Again, feel free to pause. It looks pretty good, actually. I did have to play around with these for quite a while, but they've turned out pretty good, in my opinion. So that's what we're rolling with. That's the extras. They're looking really solid as well, and I think both teams have a really good shot of contending this year yet again. So yeah, that's where we're going to wrap this one up. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go down below, drop a like on the video, subscribe, and hit notifications. We'll see what's coming up in this next draft. It's going to be an interesting one, but that is going to be it for me. This is Etanio signing out, and until next time.